What's up, Woodworking Nation, and welcome back to Armor of God Woodworks. I appreciate you coming back and joining us. We're back in the paint room today. What I wanted to talk to you about is something that we have to do sometimes in the paint room. Is people can't decide if they like a color, so you got to shoot a sample for them. The way that works for me is I call my paint supplier and tell them, hey man, I need a sample, and small sample we can get is a gallon, so we have to buy a whole gallon of paint to get one small sample out of it. Because a lot of people can't see the color on something like this because it's a small little swatch of color, and it is hard to see it. One thing I will recommend whenever you call your paint supplier to supply your color, like we use Sherwin-Williams colors, we use Benjamin Moore colors, we use Valspar colors, any colors you can find somewhere, we can use it because our paint company can color match it very easily. But what we always do is we give them the paint color, the paint manufacturer, and the paint number, which on this one right here that we're doing is Newburyport Blue. It's a Ben Moore color, number HC155. So you want to make sure if you're doing your samples that you give them all those numbers. That's going to be a really important for them, because if they pick up a Newburyport Blue from some other company, they may not know. Like if you call and just say, hey man, I need Newburyport Blue sample, and you don't tell the manufacturer, it helps if they have that number, because then it will go directly to the manufacturer and you'll make sure you've got the correct number. So what do we spray a sample on? Very simple, very cheap. 1/4 inch plywood. It's birch plywood. This has kind of got the same grain of wood that we make our face frames out of, and it's got the same as the side panels and stuff. So you want to make sure that you use the same wood that you're using on your cabinets to do your sample out of, because you don't want it to look funky or something like that. You want it to look just like it's going to look on your cabinet, so you give somebody an accurate sample. Especially if you're doing a stain sample. If you're doing a stain sample and just say, the customer wants knotty alder. Well, if you put your stain sample on, say, Southern Yellow Pine, then your stain color is going to look completely different, and you're going to have a hard time doing that. So just make sure when you're doing your samples, you're using the same material that you're using on your finished product, and it'll make a world of difference. So this is a 12 by 24 piece of 1/4 inch plywood, just some scrap we had left in the shop from this job we're working on, and got it primed, got it sanded, because you want it to have the same quality finish on the sample as it does whenever it goes out of the shop. Because whenever the clients come by here tomorrow and look at this, they're going to rub it and touch it and make sure that everything is like it's supposed to be, and you want to show off your finish with your samples. So always make sure that you do your prep work on your samples just like you would do on your cabinets, because you don't want them coming in here second guessing why they chose you to do their cabinets. If you take this much time to do a sample right, you'll take that much more time to make sure the cabinets are right. So let's spray this sucker up and see what happens. So we're using the Fuji Q4 to spray. My Kremlin's jacked up. I don't know what's wrong with it. Don't really feel like trying to fix it right now, and so it's just sitting over there in the cabinet wasting away. I don't know what happened. So I'm waiting on my supplier to come and see if we can figure out what's going on, because I want to be running my Kremlin, but I can't. But anyways, whenever I'm spraying finish, I spray with the Fuji Q4 Platinum. That's what I spray all my finish with. I like the way it sprays. It sprays evenly, and I just like it. It's easy to clean up, and it's just a great gun. So this is it. It's really filthy. I've been shooting some primer all day today, and so I cleaned up, took the primer out, cleaned it up, put the Newburyport Blue in here, and so we're going to shoot a little bit out of it. Now I've already checked it to make sure it's spraying like it's supposed to, and it's going to come out like I want it to. Really want to make sure when you're priming, especially with the way that the weather's getting right now. It's May the 7th, 6th, somewhere around in there. It's starting to get hot down here in South Georgia. It's starting to get hot in my paint room, and ever since my health episode I had last year, I put a thermometer in here so I can know how hot it is. So if it gets too hot in here, I can escape and go get cooled off, because I don't really pay attention to anything that's going on around me in here, because this is you can get caught up in your paint room. just focusing on everything you're doing, and you kind of forget about what's going on in the outside world. It's just part of it. You get in your head, you get to thinking about stuff. But right now we're at 90 degrees. It's not too bad. The humidity's up a little bit. It's around 50. We can prime. I mean, I can prime if it's raining outside. But if it's raining outside, I can't spray my finish because then we have just too many problems. I'd rather wait till the following day, make sure it's not raining, make sure it's good and dry outside, and then we can go forward with our finished paint. If it's raining and you're priming, no worries. Go in there and shoot it up, get it done, and get these jobs rolling. Because we got to get these things out of here, man. I got 2 huge jobs sitting right behind me over here, and they got to go. I'm running out of space because I got more jobs coming in that, just, it's busy, man. It's great. We love it. So let's get the machine turned on. I'm going to mask up, and that way I'm not breathing in this stuff. So anyways, sit tight and we'll get it cranked up. I was going to let that sit there for just a minute, let it dry. That way I can show you the finished product. Doesn't take this stuff long to dry. Lacquer dries really quick, so I can spray it, and 5-10 minutes I can usually go back and spray it again. It depends on the temperature, and like I said, we're cranking about 90 right now in here, so 5-10 minutes. If it's colder, it takes a little bit longer for it to dry. Sometimes if it gets down in the 40s or something like that, you have to wait. If you spray it late in the day, wait till the next morning because you don't want to have any problems. One thing I want to tell you about is this really cool mask that I picked up. My other one didn't do what this one does, and I think this is great because I can leave it, because I always wear my IsoTunes headphones right here. Have to put my mask on first, IsoTunes over it, and so I can't just keep taking all that stuff off. So this one right here actually drops down. It's got a little handle right here in the front, and you just pull it down, pops up on your face, and you're good to go. And then if you want to take it off, pop it up, bam, drops it down. It's got a hook around the neck, and that's it. I got this at Lowe's. It's like 75 bucks. Well worth the money. The other one I got was 35, 40 bucks, but it didn't do that drop down. This makes all the difference in the world because you're not constantly just taking all your stuff off and then putting it back on and taking it off and putting it back on. I mean, 30 seconds of waste of time is 30 seconds of waste of time. You do that 10 or 15 times during the day, and you could have sprayed some extra doors or something. Who knows? But anyways, we'll see how close we match. It looks great to me. I think it's perfect. And it's starting to tack up on me. Once it dries, man, I think it's gonna be dead on. But that's a shine on it. Won't be quite that shiny. It's shiny like that because it's wet. But this is a 30 sheen paint, and it'll be beautiful. It's going on an island. We're doing a house down at the coast of Georgia. About an hour and a half drive from our shop, so it's not too bad. It's a long way, but it's not really that bad. And it's not a whole pile of cabinets. It's a whole house full of cabinets, but it's not a very big house, so we'll make a trip like that. No big deal. But keep yourself out there. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes permanent. Some people say practice makes perfect. We ain't never gonna be perfect, but practice does make permanent. Whenever you're practicing painting, you're developing a technique. When you're practicing anything, you're developing a technique, and you're developing your own technique. You can use the techniques that I use because they work, but the way that I spray may not work for you. You may have a different style. and that's fine. It's not saying anything's wrong. You might want more paint to come out at one time than I do, but develop your own technique. You know, use people's tips. If you're not sure about what you're doing, just watch what other people are doing and see how they do it, and then you know you can perfect your style from there. I'm not perfect. I don't do everything right, and I know that. But the only thing I can do is get better every day, and the only way to get better every day is to practice, practice, practice. So, anyways, that's what we do whenever we spray samples. Make sure you take the time to do it right. Make sure you take the time to do everything right. It may take a little bit more time than you have allowed for it, but at the end of the day, when your clients come in and they see how good you've done on a sample, they know that their cabinets are going to be well taken care of and that you care about your product, even down to the smallest minute details. Because that's really what will set you above everybody else, is how good you pay attention to the details that's going on in each job, because each job is different. Each job has different requirements. And there's a lot of stuff, like people are showing you pictures, people are telling you their ideas, they're sending you Pinterest links, and they're sending you this and that. You got to make sure that it's all filed away with this job to make sure that at the end of the day is exactly what they want, because that's what you want to give them, is exactly what they want. So anyways, y'all have a good one, and I look forward to talking to y'all. I really want to share my testimony with y'all one day. I think that would be a interesting video. But anyways, that's for another day, because right now it's time to shut this place down and go home and eat some deer steak. So anyways, y'all have a blessed day. I hope y'all are talking to the Lord every day and are focused on your relationship with Jesus Christ. That's the most important thing. So keep that in mind. Y'all have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next one.